What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. So today we're taking it easy in the garage and actually going to do a little bit of maintenance, and I'm going to change out some of the vinyl that's starting to kind of show some age and just needs to get replaced. So I do a decent amount of my own vinyl work on the C8, as you've probably seen. So we're going to go through the process, and I'm going to show you what that looks like if you ever consider to do vinyl on your C8 or any car. So let's get into that. So in particular, the vinyl that we're going to be looking at is this rear window piece, and you can see it's kind of showing its age a little bit. It's starting to peel up from here, and some of the other sections here, it's been on the C8 for about a year now at this point. So it's just kind of the lettering's kind of faded and stuff like that. And this is, I actually had bought this vinyl from a company. I forget what the company was, but at this point, I do my own custom vinyl work, so we're gonna replace all of this with some new lettering that's a little bit bigger, bolder, easier to read kind of deal. And yeah, just show you the process. So let's get into it and get rid of this old vinyl. So alright guys, so we have taken out the old vinyl from here, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the studio area. I call it a studio, but where I have all the vinyl stuff set up, and I'm gonna show you what I have in mind, and we're gonna look at getting it all set up and on the car. Alrighty, so welcome to the studio. So as you can see, I have a few products that I'm going to be doing product reviews for. You have four boxes from Extreme Online Store, and then you can see in the corner there ACS composite stuff. So these are future videos that you're going to be seeing. I can give you a hint. Some of this stuff is going to be inside the Corvette, and then some of these are going to be on the exterior. And then that special piece there, and I'm really excited to share with you guys. It involves part of the Corvette that I actually haven't touched throughout all these different mods. So I'm really excited to actually share this. I think this is going to be a really great piece to share. But yeah, if you're wondering how the studio looks from behind, this is kind of how it looks. It's pretty humble, I guess I would say. But that's not the important part right there. So the important part is this side, this is kind of my vinyl station where I do all kinds of vinyl work. So I actually have some extra vinyl that I've done for different random things. So this one actually here matches the new Horizon C8 vinyl that I use for my product reviews and all stuff as my background. So this was a spare piece that I did as a practice. And in fact, this piece right here, we're gonna take I actually really like how this looks and the size of it. I think it's really nice and bold. So we're gonna take this really quick to the car because I think this is gonna be how the new vinyl is gonna kind of look. So let's go back to the car real quick. Alrighty, going back into the garage. So I closed the garage doors. Actually kind of started getting cold outside, believe it or not. So it's kind of nice to be able to work again in here with it just not open, and I can kind of just work whenever I need to, and it's not killing me from the heat. So anyway, so this is what I'm thinking in regards to the rear, like a new vinyl for the rear. Actually is a really good size. I promise you, I didn't do this ahead of time thinking that this is gonna be the size I want. It just happens to work out that this is my backup, or my spare vinyl that I had from when I did the backdrop vinyl. It actually works out to be the same size. And so this is actually a really good size. I don't even remember what size this was. I think this is like, what, 24 inch? I gotta get a measuring tape. I swear to God, I have all these tools, but when I try to remember where I put whatever tool I'm using, I don't remember where I put it. Okay, found a backup batch, like measuring tape. So let's see, just getting the general length of this. I could probably do this off the C8, but it's probably good to just check it. So about 28 inches, probably do 27 inches just to be on the safe side. Now, I'm not just going to do just the new Horizon C8 by itself. I mean, that kind of be just everybody be able to see that and they'd be like, yeah, but what is that? I had a copy of that same U2 vinyl here, but that's still kind of a little bit small, and I wanted to do something a little bit bigger, bolder. So I'm thinking So this is all vinyl I had done before, so I'm thinking I'm gonna just do a larger version of this YouTube thing, put it right here, and then maybe on the other side put just the logo of the YouTube, and I think that'll be a good resemblance of what that looks like. I might put the Corvette silhouette on top of this. I think that might look good, but then it might get a little too busy. I don't know. What are you guys thinking? Let me know in the comments. So we got a plan, so let's get back into the studio and start printing this stuff out. Back in the studio. So if you're wondering, okay, well, what color are you doing? Are you gonna be doing the orange that you see right here? Are you doing white? It's gonna be a little bit of both. So my idea with this is I do wanna have it that the main font is white because it has a good contrast between the rear windshield. But I don't want it to just be plain white. So what I might do is do like a border around that is orange that's going to be in this color. And as you see, these are all the different colors I have available, kind of, which is pretty much orange, white, and red with a little bit of black. That's actually a different kind of vinyl, but we're not going to worry about that. So we're dealing with red, orange, a different color orange, though I looked at it before, it's the same orange, and yeah, white. So talking about like actually the border, I guess the best way to kind of describe what I'm thinking of doing is if you can see on my backdrop here that I have a little bit of white in with the orange here. That's what I'm kind of just thinking of doing. So it's going to be basically the two vinyls laying on top of each other, and it's just going to give it a little bit more dimension to the lettering and not just, hey, here's a flat piece of vinyl and it's just cut and there you go. So if you're wondering what I use to actually cut my vinyl out and what I'm using the Cricut Explorer Air 3. So it's actually kind of reminds me of the cacti green on the 2024 C8 Corvette. So it's kind of interesting in that. So I actually did a little bit of work ahead of time, and basically this is going to be what I'm cutting out. So it's already has the New Horizon C8 and the car silhouette logo. So I'm going to cut that out, and we're going to resize this to about 27.5 inches is what I'm thinking we can go with. So I'm going to print this part out for a white vinyl and an orange vinyl. And so what this will do is take the vinyl, it'll cut the layout in, and then I'll take the excess off. And then what we need to do with that, we need to use transfer tape to to basically evenly pull it off of the back and drop that it's holding, and then we can apply it onto the Corvette. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of go for it. Oh, also this is kind of cool. I don't know. I just really like how they made it slowly open like that. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. Anyway. All right, now I'm sure on the camera it looks like there's just a blank piece of vinyl here, but I promise you it is cut. So what I have to do now is to take the background off of this in regards to the pieces that are not going to be transferred over to the transfer tape and then to the car. So, and I got this Cricut mat here. This kind of has this little bit of a sticky surface to make it a little bit easier to take off that stuff. So, but in case you were ever curious on how that process is supposed to look like you're doing, and how intricate you can do it, I have done QR codes, and you've seen it on the Corvette. They are a pain. I try to avoid them at all cost, but they are doable. So, and they do work. So, anyway, I'm gonna shut up and get this all ready to go. If you're curious about getting some, like, being able to do custom vinyl work on for your car, whether it's a C8 like mine or anything, I'll have a link in the description below for all the tools that I use, including the Cricut Explorer 3. This is a great tool in regards to doing any kind of vinyl work. I do a whole bunch of custom stuff, even temporary vinyl, like this media car stuff here. I actually used this for when I did a big car rally a few months ago, and I needed to kind of make sure that my car stood out in regards to I'm taking a whole bunch of media video of everybody on the car rally. And so like that kind of stuff actually was pretty useful. And once you get all the stuff that you need, it's actually kind of cheap to be able to do all that stuff, minus the materials or the startup cost for it. All right, so all this kind of folded on itself. I was gonna try to show this all pretty and everything, but that didn't work out, so that was all for nothing. So you can kind of see here, hopefully, at least the camera's capturing it a little bit better, the actual vinyl that is all nicely cut here. Now obviously certain sections like here where you have, if you're wondering how do you do the inside sections, well, you gotta kind of do those manually. The Cricut machine did make the cut for it, but you have to go in there with like a little picker tool like this to be able to kind of just lift it off. You have to just basically go on the side and just kind of lift it from there, and then it comes out. So these big pieces in general are pretty easy to do. Honestly, it's only a pain when you're getting to very, very, very small pieces like that QR code I showed before, and it is quite the pain. It is a big challenge because you're trying to basically lift up this little piece of vinyl and not move anything else. If you do and it gets in the wrong position, especially with something like the QR code, then the QR code doesn't work and you gotta start all over. You can definitely ask me how many times I've messed up one of those QR codes before I finally started getting it right. It is a pain. So hence why I don't like doing them that often anymore, if I can help it. But anyways, so this piece of vinyl is good to go. So now we need to do the same thing, but for the orange piece. Alrighty, so we have the orange version of the vinyl done. So it actually came out pretty good. And so like I said, I'm planning to have the white lettering over this orange lettering in regards to kind of creating a 2D more in-depth effect, and then doing the orange over the white part so that it has a little bit of depth as well. So so to do that, I do need to go and... So to do that, I'm going to need to cut out this section here so that I can overlay them correctly first. And I need to overlay them on top of each other first. So that requires me to use a bit of transfer tape to just do that part first and do it on here. And then once that's ready, you transfer it over to the Corvette. So this is the part that's gonna probably get tricky. If I fail on doing this, then I might have to pivot and just stick with one color, but we will see. So yeah, let's hope for the best on here because I really don't want to have to do this more than once. So this is what's called transfer tape. So is exactly what you think it is in regards to it is, you cut this out to the length that you need it. It has a clear film that's coated in a very light adhesive. And the idea is you lay it over whatever you want to grab as your vinyl. You flatten it through with like a squeegee or whatnot so that it holds the vinyl in place. So then you can pull it off of this layer and then transfer it onto, oh crap. And then transfer it onto whatever you're trying to transfer it onto so you have a clear piece that you can look at. And the good part, since it's a clear film, you can actually see where you're placing it, which is kind of useful. Nearly there, and got it. All right, cool. Whew, okay, now I gotta be extremely careful with this that I don't let it fold on itself. I'm gonna just put this upside down real quick over here. So we're going to place this down, then transfer the white over it, and then do the same thing again with this piece. And take all of the lettering and such, out, and then this will be ready. Just trying to do a little bit of an offset because this is the same size. I'm gonna have to commit. I'm just gonna have to commit. And there we go. Alrighty, so I got that out. Now, actually, I just realized something. I need a way to be able to line this up on the C8 correctly, rather than just eyeballing it, because I know I won't do it right. So I need to do that on the car real quick. So I'm going to just lay this upside down very, very gently to go do that. Alrighty guys, so I have put a line of masking tape over it. I measured it out, double, triple checked the measurements. My eyes say that this is not perfectly level or lined up, but measurement wise, it lines up. So I'm just going to say that my eyes are playing tricks on me. But in any case though, so this line, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be putting on the tape from one side to the other. This is a lot easier if you had an extra set of hands to do this. I don't currently, which is fine. But the key is if I start on one side and work my way other and use this as a guide, that should help. So putting this piece on, then I'll remove all the transfer tape, and then I can remove the blue tape, and this will be on. So, alrighty, so let's do this. Alright guys, so the main letters are done. They look bold, and I do like the little bit of a difference in regards to having that orange kind of stick out. And I think it makes it help just stick out just a little bit more than just doing a typical flat white and you're done. So I do like how this looks. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned before is that I am using just the Cricut permanent vinyl, which is just their typical vinyl that's for just more permanent things kind of deal. And it's worked pretty well. I mean, these pieces on the side here, that's all the permanent vinyl from Cricut that I've used. And it's been holding up pretty well. It's not really fading or anything like that. But that being said, I mean, it is not the easiest to work with. I mean, it is easy in regards to that it's smart materials, that all I have to use is all I have to do is just feed it into the cutter and it cuts it, instead of having to use a mat, which is an extra step. But honestly, I think next time I'm actually gonna try to do all of this with automotive vinyl like this from Vivid, that is purposely designed for automotive use. And I think that's gonna last a little bit better, be a little bit more forgiving in this kind of respect. So, but I just happen to have the materials on hand for doing the vinyl, using the smart vinyl that I had. So yeah, overall this looks really, really good. I like it so far. So we're gonna do the same thing in regards to stick a YouTube piece right there and then the YouTube logo on the other side, and this will be done. So I think the rest of this video is gonna kind of be just an ASMR, just showing how it looks. So cue the music montage. Alright guys, so we have installed at least this part of the vinyl. I decided to stay away from the silhouette at least for now and kind of just see how this looks. Let me know in the comments what you think, if I should put the Corvette silhouette still or just kind of leave it at this, or if you just don't like it at all and you think it's just a little bit too much going on. I like it. I think I have to let it grow on me a little bit. It's vinyl, that's the beauty of it. I could go and change it whenever I want, and it really is no cost to me except a little bit of my time. So, but I do like how it looks. At least the New Horizon CA part I like a lot. I think that part came out really, really good. Especially like the YouTube part, I think that might stay, and then maybe I'll just keep the silhouette and just take out the logo for YouTube. That's probably just a little bit too much. But one thing I do have to caveat is that I did have to, if you saw it in the video earlier, I did have to layer a few pieces of vinyl one on top of the other. In particular, the white, I have white vinyl there, and then red vinyl, and then white again. The reason why I do that is because while the vinyl itself is pretty colorful, sometimes if you have light behind it, or if you have a darker color behind it, it can wash out the color a little bit. And what I mean is that you can kind of see that over here, where this is the same vinyl that I used in regards to that. It's not the lighting. I mean, the lighting is a little bit bad in here, but this is the same piece of red vinyl, but the difference is I have white underneath this as compared to here where I just don't. So it required a few extra steps for me to kind of get that bright red, which is what I really, really wanted to have, at least from this kind of vinyl. So, and then another thing is, like, you might be able to see some bubbling and stuff like that, which I'll clean up later. But the bubbling, to get around it, if it's just general vinyl, you usually need to use kind of like a razor and a squeegee like this in order to be able to poke a very, very tiny hole and then kind of just squeeze the air out. Now, that's part of why I like automotive vinyl so much, is because it has air channels already built into the vinyl. The vinyl itself is designed to be able to get the air out without having it need to get to like an edge to escape, which is really, really what I like. And that's what I have for these automotive vinyls that you see on the car for quite a bit of time now. So this vinyl from Vivid works super well. So that's kind of why probably next time I'm going to just have I'm just going to use automotive vinyl, because the Cricut cutter will pretty much cut any kind of vinyl. It doesn't have to be from their company. I just happen to have a bit of excess material to work with, and just figured, why not? Let me see if this looks good enough, and then maybe I'll come back and do it again. But it does, as you saw in the video, it does take, for something kind of simple-ish, it does take a little bit of time to do this. But in the end, I think it's worth it. But I'd love to know what you guys think about it so far. So in any case, I think that's going to wrap up this video. So I hope you like this video. If you like it, please check out any of my other videos, and we'll see you next time.